Tariq grabbed Victor Hale's arm to stop him, and his hand passed straight through. Hale was not alive. He had never been alive. And the person who had been hunting the list was already in the building. Welcome to Untold Lores, the Architecture of the List, Part 3. Hale stood up from the desk. Tariq stepped back. He saw it then. The back of Hale's uniform was soaked through with a dark stain, dried black at the edges and still dark red at the center. The shape of it was wrong. It spread outward from a point between his shoulder blades in the outline of two hands pressing from inside his back. Hale did not acknowledge it. He walked to a filing cabinet against the wall and opened the second drawer. He pulled out a thick folder and set it on the desk. He said the list did not start with 41 names. Tariq looked at the folder. It was dense with paper, printed pages, photographs, clipped news articles. He said, "How many did it start with?" Hale said 112, 60, 8 already gone. He opened the folder. The first page was a photograph of a building Tariq did not recognize. A government ministry building somewhere in Central Europe, identifiable only by a partial street sign visible in the corner. The second page was a chart. A flow chart of names and positions, arrows connecting them, an organizational structure. At the top of the chart was an empty box, no name, no title, just the word ARC-IT. Tariq pointed at it. He asked who that was. Hale said, "That is the wrong question." He turned the page. Beneath the chart was a list of professions. Journalists, researchers, translators, legal observers, all the same profile, people who documented things, people who recorded, people whose work created a trail of evidence. The list was not random. It was a systematic removal of every person who had independently gathered documentation on the Draven crossing over the past 4 years. Tariq thought about the 3 months he had spent in the Draven region in 2021 filing reports on displaced populations, interviewing border officials. He had published 11 pieces. He had never considered those pieces significant. He looked up at Hale and asked, "Are they going to come here?" Hale said, "They are already here." He pointed at the ceiling. Tariq heard it then. Footsteps on the floor above them, slow and deliberate, a single set, moving toward the stairwell. He had not seen a staircase when he entered. He had not seen a second floor. But the footsteps were directly overhead, moving in a line toward the corner of the room. Hale moved to the desk and picked up the folder. He pressed it into Tariq's hands and said, "You need to take this and go now." Tariq grabbed him by the arm. He asked why Hale was still here, why he had stayed in this building for 6 months, why he had been declared dead twice. Hale looked at his arm where Tariq was gripping it. Tariq's hand was going through him, not pressing against cloth and bone. Going through. Hale's arm was not solid. Tariq let go. His hand was cold, deeply cold, the cold of water from a very deep place. Hale said, quietly, "I have been here for 6 months because I cannot leave. I died here, Mr. Osman." What was declared twice was not incorrect. But there are things here they did not want found. I was the one who found them. That is why I am still here. The footsteps reached the stairwell. The door at the top of the stairs opened. Tariq pressed himself against the wall. He looked at Hale. Hale was already fading, his outline thinning, his navy uniform losing definition. He said, "The woman from the train station. She is the one coming down those stairs." Tariq's hand found the back door of the office. He pushed it. It was locked. He rattled it. He looked at the front door through the intake hall, 44 steps back to the gate. The footsteps were coming down the stairs, slow, 1 step at a time. Unhurried. Hale was gone. The folder was in Tariq's hands. The word ARC was still visible on the page at the top of the stack. And then Tariq turned the page and his hand stopped, because below the ARC-IT box, at the very top of the organizational chart, connected by a single arrow to every name beneath it, was a face he recognized. It was his editor. His editor of 11 years. The person he had not told where he was going. The person who was the only human being on Earth who knew his sources, his contacts, his filing history, his 3 months of Draven documentation. She had known. She had always known. and she had never been on the list. The woman from the train station reached the bottom of the stairs and turned into the hallway. She was wearing a visitor badge. It had Tariq's name on it. But her photograph. That's it for part 3. Follow Untold Lores for part 4. Like and subscribe for daily stories.